superhero Sarah today, just perfecting my poses.
Hello, Audacious Kids, and welcome to Heroes Gallery.
Heroes Gallery. We are so glad you've joined us over the last few weeks where we've been exploring all the incredible, well, a handful, not all, heroes of the Bible.
Oh yeah.
And so we've been modelling our little superhero look ourselves, but you look a bit different today, Keith.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's really itchy actually. My friend Mark said this was a really cool mask, but I don't really like it, and it's.
Did your grandma buy it you so you felt you had to wear it?
No, my friend said it was cool, and even though I didn't think it was cool, I was like, oh, okay.
You wanted to wear it. Okay, let's do a bit of a vote, okay? Who thinks it's cool? If you think it's cool, give us a thumbs up. If you think it's kind of okay, go like that. And if you think it's totally not cool, give me a thumbs down. I'm going to do the overall vote for everybody, Keith,
Okay.
It's not actually that cool, Keith. Oh. I think you look a bit strange.
Oh, I'm glad actually. To be honest, it was rubbing my chin.
Well, welcome back. Have you got an eye mask?
Sorry, I need to get back in disguise.
Superhero Keith. Well, you don't need to be disguised because we know it's you.
Oh, right.
We're just being.
But if danger comes along, I'm ready.
He is ready.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be exploring new Bible heroes today.
Good one today. It's an absolute cracker.
You know who it is, and I don't know who it is.
I do.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions.
All right, I'm ready.
To try and guess who it is. Okay, is it Jonah?
Nope.
No, because I
4 questions
shared
left.
about Jonah. Is it a woman, lady, girl hero?
It is not today, no.
It's not, so a man. Okay. Was this man in the New Testament?
No.
So the Old Testament, a man, Old Testament.
2 questions left.
Was this man...
Come on, guys at home, you're going to have to try and guess.
Was this man a king?
He was not a king, no.
Not a king, okay.
One last question.
Was he known for praying?
He was not known for praying, no.
Okay, hero, Old Testament, Abraham. Stars.
It's good.
God's promises.
It's a great hero. He's in the Heroes Gallery, but he's not my hero today. So you may not have even have heard this story. It's about a guy in the Bible called Nehemiah.
Nehemiah.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll find out all about why he's in the Heroes Gallery a little bit later.
Can't wait. Well, one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Right. I was having to think about this. Now, this hero, she is like really old and actually dead. But she's an awesome hero because she really cared for people who were poor, and she helped families and children and really loved them like God would have wanted her to. Can you guess who it is?
Is it my grandma?
Nope, she did do that.
Yeah.
She is really old. It's Mother Teresa.
Oh, I've heard of her. She's
Mother
like
Teresa.
super good at helping people.
I bet you've heard. Give me a wave if you've heard of Mother Teresa.
If you've not, Google her, find out about her. She is an amazing hero in the Heroes Gallery.
Yep, so while we explore our heroes today, we're going to go into timeless truth now and...
see if you've learned the memory of her so far. This timeless truth is amazing.
This is our last week.
Yeah, so if you're at one of our locations right now, you're going to have a chance to prove whether you've learnt it or not. And if you're watching online or at home, then this is your chance to test yourself and see if you've got this time's timeless truth.
I'm sure you have.
And then we're going to get our praise on. Are you ready?
Yep, we're ready.
All right, let's see if you've got the memory verse first.
all through history. Men and women won the victory. Standing up for what's good and right. They were fearless to face the fight. So against all the odds, we will trust in our God. Strong in the struggle, we have a champion. Brave every battle, God says we're gonna win. Destined for greatness, more than a conqueror. Jesus who loves us, he says, I'm a hero. Oh, oh, 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 I'm a hero. Conversations that I have today. Will I join in? Will I walk away? When confusion tries to make me lose, giants topple when I speak the truth. So against all the odds, we will trust in our God. Strong in the struggle, we have a champion. Brave every battle, God says we're gonna win. Destined for greatness, more than a conqueror. Jesus who loves us, he says, I'm a hero. Oh, oh, 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 I'm a hero. Whatever comes my way, I'll say with faith, I'm a hero. Whatever comes my way, I'll say with faith, I'm a hero. Whatever comes my way, I'll say with faith, I'm a hero. Whatever comes my way, I'll say with faith, I'm a hero. Strong in the struggle, we have a champion. Brave every battle, God says we're gonna win. Destined for greatness, more than a conqueror. Jesus who loves us, he says, I'm a hero. Oh, oh, 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 I'm a hero.
We
on to the Heroes Gallery Help Group. Lovely to see some of the guys who've been coming every week and some new faces as well. I'm the moderator and I'm really looking forward to helping some of our heroes today who've been having a bit of trouble and want to make it one day into the Heroes Gallery. Well, Impossible Man, you've been patiently all the time. Now it's your turn. Tell us, how has your week been?
Oh, well, another week of the impossible.
Really? Wow, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Well, before we get into the details, why don't we start off with our positivity phrase? Come on then. We are heroes. Heroes lie within. Whether we make it to the gallery or not, we'll try our best to win. All right, good job. Excellent, excellent. Take a seat, gentlemen. So, Impossible Man, you say that you've been doing the impossible all week. Tell us about it.
No, you seem to be mistaken. My name isn't the Impossible Man. My name is That's Impossible Man. All week I've been seeing things which are impossible, so I've avoided doing them.
I really don't understand. What?
It's impossible to understand. That's true. Now let me give you an example. Last week, Dr. Diablo had Explodo trapped in a cage, and Explodo needed some help. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. What happened?
Well, I looked at it, decided whether or not I could help, but quickly realised it was impossible, man. So I didn't bother going. I think Explodo's still stuck in there. There's no point in trying something if you know you're going to fail.
I see. I don't suppose you, I don't know, studied the story of Nehemiah like I asked you to last week?
I did think about it, but it seemed impossible, man.
Of course it did. Right. Sit up straight, you three. Impossible Man, get your notepad out. I want you to look at the story of Nehemiah and see what he did when he faced something impossible that got him in the Heroes Gallery.
God's story, Nehemiah. So part of God's story is about a guy named Nehemiah, and it goes like this. Remember God's family? They were called the Israelites because they lived in, you guessed it, Israel. But some of them lived far away from their home, and one of those guys was Nehemiah. He lived in Persia and worked for the king. One day, his brother told him that a city in Israel called Jerusalem was suffering, and many people there weren't following God anymore, and their city wasn't in very good shape. Nehemiah cried, "God, you are wonderful, but your family's home is in trouble. Please help us. When I serve the king his wine today, make him pleased with me and have him do what I ask." Later, when Nehemiah served the king's wine, the king noticed that Nehemiah looked sad. So the king asked why. Nehemiah told him about Jerusalem and asked if he could go back to rebuild the wall. The king could have killed Nehemiah for asking to leave, but instead, he said go. He even helped. That's because God heard Nehemiah's prayer and answered it. Anyway, Nehemiah went to work rebuilding the wall, but little did he know he was going to need to ask for a lot more help from God. See, God and his family have always had enemies, and these enemies wanted to stop Nehemiah and the people helping him. First, they made fun of them. So Nehemiah prayed again. He said, "God, some people hate us. Please get rid of them," and went back to work. Now, God does hear and answer every prayer, but sometimes not in the way we expect or even in the way we want. And at first, it seemed like God wasn't answering this one at all, because when the enemies saw that Nehemiah was still building, they planned an attack. But Nehemiah trusted that God heard his prayer even if it didn't feel like it. And God did! He caused some people to overhear the enemy's plan and warn Nehemiah. Even though the enemies were still after him, Nehemiah planned a defense and told the others, "Don't be afraid of your enemies. Remember the Lord. He is great and powerful." And on they worked, building, building, building. The closer the wall got to being finished, the more Nehemiah's enemies realized they couldn't stop him by making fun of him or by attacking him. Time for something else. They tried everything. They sent messages to get Nehemiah to leave the wall and meet them. He wouldn't. They hoped Nehemiah's hands would get weak, but Nehemiah had asked God to make his hands stronger. They even paid a priest to ask Nehemiah to leave the wall and come to the temple. But Nehemiah trusted God more than anyone else, even the priest, and he refused to stop doing the job God had given him. Kids, are you willing to listen to God and obey him, no matter what? Well, finally, the wall was done. God's family got to go home again, and Nehemiah's enemies found that nothing stops God's plans. The Israelites celebrated and praised God, and as they praised, they realized how much their sins had hurt God, and they felt terrible. They told God they were sorry and thanked him for helping them. Then they made a brand new promise to follow him, and Jerusalem was once again a safe place where people honored God. And that's the story of Nehemiah.
Wow. Nehemiah must have thought rebuilding the walls was impossible, man.
Yeah, it was a tricky situation for sure. But Nehemiah didn't look at what he couldn't do. He looked at what God could do.
Ah. And God is on my side too, right?
Absolutely. He's actually one of your biggest fans.
Well, maybe I've been a bit hasty in giving up all of the time. Maybe, with God on my side, I can do some things. In fact, I think I might be able to rescue Explodo after all. You know, from this day forward, let me be known as all things are possible, man.
Yay! Wow, Nehemiah, what a hero, facing the impossible. Being a hero sometimes means having to face things that seem impossible. I don't know if you've ever been in an impossible situation. I know sometimes when I've got a really big Lego set and I've got all the instructions and I'm trying my best to follow every picture, and then somehow my Lego model doesn't match the thing, and I'm like, oh, this is impossible. There's a million pieces. I've no idea where it's gone wrong. What? Nehemiah, he faced an impossible situation, and there's a few things I want us to learn about how Nehemiah the hero handled his impossible and how we can handle ours. Now, the first thing about Nehemiah is it seems so impossible because there were things going on that were out of his control. He wasn't the king. In fact, he wasn't even in the country where God had asked him to do the work. He was living somewhere else, under someone else's rule, with no money, with no one to help him. He just had a dream and an idea from God. And it seemed impossible. But even though he wasn't in charge, he was brave enough to try something crazy. He went to the king and did an audacious ask. And I don't know whether you're facing the impossible or something that seems out of your control, whether it's your teachers or your parents or something that is limiting you. Maybe you need to give an audacious ask like Nehemiah did. Or maybe there's another solution that God will open up for you. But even though it seemed impossible and like it was out of his control, Nehemiah still went for the challenge that God had set before him. Another thing that might have put Nehemiah off is that building the walls, well, that was absolutely hard work. I don't know if you've ever built anything, but bricks are heavy, aren't they? And I've got a couple here, and I'm lifting 2 up, and that's not going to make a very big wall. It must have been good for Nehemiah at the start to go, yeah, it's going to be amazing. We're going to build these walls. They're going to be beautiful. And then when he got to the wall and he picked up 1 brick, it was like, oh my gosh. That nice idea looks a little bit like hard work right now. I'm going to have to put lots of effort in, use my muscles. I'm going to get tired. I'm going to feel like quitting. But Nehemiah was not afraid of hard work. And he went after the plan that God had for him and put the hard work in. No more. But sometimes The impossible in front of us is not that impossible. It just requires hard work. And we've got to stay committed to the challenge. Maybe you, out of your control, you didn't get into the football team. But do you know what? A bit of hard work, some practice, some training, sticking at it even when you feel a bit tired or you can't be bothered this week. It's actually working hard and training and doing and working hard at what God's called you to do. The other thing that tried to put Nehemiah off was everybody else chipping in with their opinion. All the people that were saying, oh, do you really want to do it? Oh, that looks like hard. Why don't you have a rest? Why don't you quit? Why don't you come down? Oh, you look a bit silly. All these people chatting on, giving him a million excuses of why he should quit and why he should stop. But Nehemiah knew what God had called him to do. And so no matter what other people started chatting on to him about, whatever people started calling him names, or people were trying to convince him to go the easy route and to quit and to not go for the impossible, Nehemiah said, nah, I'm not even going to listen to you. God has given me a challenge, and I am going to pursue this awesome challenge and see God be glorified, everybody that came around saw these walls and saw how awesome God was because Nehemiah was faithful, even when he wanted to quit. And I hope during this Heroes Gallery series, Audacious Kids, that you have been challenged to live like a hero. And quite often that means going along with things even when it seems like it's out of your control. It's going to look like hard work and training and never quitting. And also you're going to have to ignore some of the voices sometimes that try and put you off or try and make you feel small or try and make the situation feel totally unobtainable. But as heroes, we're going to chase after the promise that God has for us and see amazing things happen. Now, I just want to pray for you right now. All you Audacious Kids heroes out there, and for what God's called you to be. God, I pray for Audacious Kids and everyone who can hear this prayer. I pray that they will know how incredible they are and how massive you are. And with you on our side, we can achieve what seems impossible. And so give us crazy dreams and awesome plans that you have for us, and give us the courage to do the hard work and carry on to see these come true. Thank you, Jesus. We love you, God. Amen. All right, Audacious Kids superheroes, have an awesome week. Be amazing and be the awesome you that God's called you to do. See you next time. Bye.